We actually ordered so many things, the server came up to us and said, "Is this all for just you?" Anytime someone questions the amount of food I can eat, it always makes me feel proud. You see, there's a whole army of people, I think strictly just preparing Xiao Long Bao. Sabaidee, dudes and dudettes. Welcome back to Bite the Hype. I'm Wrath. Today is a very special day. It's always a special day, but today's a very special day if you love chains. No, not the kind of chain you put on your neck, even though I want to get one so I can look like a punk 20-year-old Asian kid. I'm talking about a restaurant chain, and I'm talking about one of the most anticipated restaurant chains that's ever come to New York. Not Jollibee, Din Tai Fung. Finally, New York can be DTF about something I care about. But this is honestly one of the most hyped restaurants that I've seen. Eater New York was putting out a new article about how it was delayed every month. I don't even understand that. Why tell me it's delayed constantly? And here we are in August, and it's finally open after a month of just friends and family service. Currently, you can only dine here if you score a reservation, which refreshes at midnight every night. So basically, you got to be a night owl, hit the refresh button, and eventually you're gonna get a time slot at like 3 p.m. So why is everyone so hyped about Din Tai Fung? Well, Din Tai Fung is a restaurant chain that originated in Taiwan and became very famous for their Xiao Long Bao, or as many people call it, soup dumplings. Their soup dumplings are actually so famous and so good that the Hong Kong location received the Michelin star. In 1993, the New York Times named Din Tai Fung as one of the top 10 restaurants in the world. I guess people really like Xiao Long Bao. So if you're not familiar with Din Tai Fung, you're probably like, oh, this is the first time they've expanded out of Asia, right? Wrong. There's a location in Dubai. There's even a location in London. And the first location in the United States opened all the way back in 2000 in Arcadia, California. That's how lame New York is. It got beat by 24 years by Arcadia, California. Kind of crazy. A lot of people will tell you that if you wanted to get really good Taiwanese, you can already get that today. All you have to do is take the 7 train up to Flushing, which is 1 to 2 hours, navigate all the restaurants and, possibly non-English speaking employees, and be super adventurous, right? It's that easy. It's that easy. Not everyone wants to do that, but fret no more, because now we get this amazing, famous food in the beautiful neighborhood of Times Square. As of today, Din Tai Fung's only been open for a month now, but let's go check out what kind of hype we're seeing online. This looks like soggy lettuce. I don't think I'll be eating that. Elaine C, 3 out of 5 stars. Cucumber salad, honestly, I could do better myself for the price paid. Okay, shots fired. David S, seated for the reservations within 5 minutes. Great friendly staff. The dumplings were amazing as always. The first slurp took me back to my first experience in Vegas. I'm going to say it again, but kind of a sexual comment. I love it when my slurp takes me back to my experience in Vegas too. Clarence K, it's not the only Xiao Long Bao place in town, but what an amazing environment. This place is huge, so worth adding to your soup dumpling rotation. I don't have a rotation. I'm going to guess Clarence is in a polyamorous relationship and he just likes having a rotation of everything. Not a bad way to live. Hubert says, the food is great. 95% similar to what I had in Taiwan. Pork chop was a little dry. Also, it is because it's newly open, the server delivered dishes of other tables to us 3 times. LOL. Hope that happens to me. Overall, it's still a good experience and makes us feel like we're at home. Anthony rated them 4 out of 5 stars. I guess his house is only a 4 out of 5 star experience too. Justin is only giving them 2 out of 5 stars. Let's see what's going on. The food was good. Okay. Everything else was atrocious. Do better. P.S. You can get better soup dumplings at Joe Shanghai. Is Justin the owner of Joe Shanghai? I wonder how often restaurant review espionage happens. Sophia L. Not pictured, but I would die for the garlic green beans. Dang. I would do anything for garlic green beans. This girl would die for garlic green beans. It means I have to get them. All right, I think we have a good idea of what to try in the menu. Our reservation's coming up in about 1 hour, so we got to start heading over. Let's go. Din Tai Fung is one of the most eagerly anticipated restaurants in the city. We're talking about Guns N' Roses, Chinese democracy style anticipation here. That is not an inside joke on the relations between Taiwan and China, but it could be. So maybe I'm a genius. We're in every New Yorker's favorite neighborhood, Times Square / Broadway. That's a joke for New Yorkers, by the way. New Yorkers actually hate this neighborhood with a passion. Be that as it may, I do think really good restaurants like Din Tai Fung are sorely needed in this area.
I've been eating.
That way you don't have to go to Sbarro Pizza before or after your Broadway show. If you go through the chaos of Times Square, you head to Broadway, you make it to the exterior of Din Tai Fung. This crazy little entrance that you then walk down the stairs in order to enter the restaurant. All right, let's go check it out. It's a really cool space. I think it hits this right mix of like modernization or modernity with, you know, some references to Taiwanese or Chinese culture. It's just a massive restaurant. I want to say you could fit 300-400 people in here. Maybe I'm wrong, maybe it's only 200, but it is a huge restaurant. It's just the excitement and hype of coming to a new restaurant that doesn't exist in New York, and something that has like the expectation of Din Tai Fung is really, really cool to, you know, come in the early wave to check out. All right, first up we have the cucumber salad. Check it out. Just well dressed, slightly overdressed, which I actually prefer for a cucumber. All right, I already see some chaos happening. We were given a dish, the vermicelli with mushroom that we didn't order, but they graciously gave it to us for free. So yeah, let's try the vermicelli cold noodle. It's got a really subtle chili kick to it, or more vinegary, like Taiwanese flavors. It definitely grows on you. It doesn't have like a super wow factor. I would actually say the cucumbers have like a little bit of a wow factor just because they're just a perfect version of a cucumber salad. The wood herb mushroom, it's got such a fun bite to it. It is literally like you're eating an ear though. I wish I wouldn't call it that. I would say it's my least favorite so far just because it's not as balanced with any other flavors. It's just a really vinegary kick. It's too bad though because the texture of the mushrooms is like really, really nice to chew. I do think in terms of chaos, they still have some kinks to work out. You know, getting a dish we didn't order and then I waited probably 15, maybe 20 minutes on a beer. Not ideal, but again, technically they're in a kind of a soft launch type stage. As I continue the vermicelli cold noodles, it's probably my favorite now. It's just very well balanced, super interesting.
Sometimes mistakes are good.
Blood mistakes. Oh yeah, except for the beer thing. Okay, the drink of the day is Jingdao from mainland China. It took me flagging a server down twice to get it, but it's fine. You know what? All is forgiven as soon as you're delivered alcohol. I don't know if you remember, there's reports earlier in the year of a man urinating in the Qingdao beer vat. I think it's been long enough that dilution has occurred and maybe there's a cleaning process that happened in between. At least one can hope. My thing is, with how tightly controlled media is in China, how did that get out? Man, that's an actual conspiracy theory. Do you think the Chinese government would let the world know that one of their employees peed in a vat of beer? I find it hard to believe. A lot harder to believe that than the moon landing. All right, we finally received the famous Xiao Long Bao, or XLBs. I just hope that people can learn how to say Xiao Long Bao. I don't think it's that difficult. It means little, what, little?
Steam.
A little steam? I thought little basket.
A little basket buns.
It means a little basket buns. Instead of soup dumplings, it's like the same reason you don't say Vietnamese sandwich, you say banh mi. It's not that difficult to say the word. I think, yeah, just, you know, it's a nice thing to learn how to say cuisine in the native tongues. It's a lot smaller than a lot of other Xiao Long Bao I've seen. So we're gonna follow the method recommended by the placard. Dip soup dumpling in sauce. Place on spoon. Then break dumpling onto spoon to release broth into the spoon. Wow. And finally, place tiny bits of ginger. Okay, cheers. That is absolutely amazing. Really, really amazing flavors though. The pork goes so well with the crab. Highly recommend it. As someone who's actually helped make, and not made myself, helped make handmade dumpling wrappers, I think that really shines through. A really good dumpling wrapper, I think, should be as revered as like really good handmade pasta, right? It's kind of the same process, using flour and making some type of dough and rolling it out all by hand. And when you put that kind of love into, you know, the dough, the dumpling wrapper is just so flavorful, but also has like a really, really satisfying bite. So they have 18 folds in them, being a very popular Chinese number, but I think in Cantonese it means hope you get rich. Shout out to Ronnie Chen. Next up is the fried green beans with garlic and some type of oil. Something very satisfying about green beans and garlic and oil. I've seen versions of this where there's pork or other types of meat, but I don't think it's necessary.
Rice and pork shaman.
It's similar to a lot of other types of snacks or appetizers that I really enjoy, where not overly complex and it's not overly savory. So you can just continue to eat it. It's like super addicting. Wow. Just really, really well executed. Got the perfect amount of bite. The cook on it is absolutely perfect. All right, next up, the Xiao Mai. No sauce, we're gonna eat it without. It's actually a lot more rice forward than I thought. There's quite a bit of rice in there. It's almost like eating.
Oh, I forgot to mention the sticky rice.
Yeah. It's almost like eating a sticky rice dish inside of a dumpling, which I've actually never had, shockingly. Okay, let's try it with sauce. It's good with sauce. I'm starting to get a feel for the Din Tai Fung flavor profile, which is really solid flavor. That's honestly just a little bit more subtle than what I was expecting, but I think that's a good thing for me. Definitely don't like things that are like overly rich, you know? I think the days of me dining at like really buttery French restaurants is definitely on pause right now, and this is completely different. It's super clean, nice, straightforward flavors, but they build over time. So as you eat it, it just like starts tasting better and better. And next up is the beef noodle soup. Whoa, I almost spilled it. So a lot of people are raving about this. I'm gonna go broth first and let you know what I think. It's similar to other beef noodle soups I've had, where it's, you know, you taste the 5 spice, things like that. There's another element in there I can't quite put my finger on. I don't know. It's some umami hit. Let's try noodles. No, those are good noodles. And the dry aged beef. The braise on the beef is too short. It's not quite fall apart, and the bite's not the best bite I've ever had of beef. It's kind of sinewy, and yeah, now I need a toothpick basically. After listening to other people, this might be the most disappointing thing I've eaten here. I just don't understand why you would order this here. Now, if you want a recommendation on what I do think is a really, really well executed beef noodle soup, check out one of my first reviews on a little restaurant called Dumplings. To end things, we have the shrimp medley, 2 shrimp dishes. First is the shrimp fried rice. It looks like a simple fried rice until you look a little bit closer, and it's just like, I don't know. Whoever did the mixing wanted to make sure there's a little bits of scallion and egg and every little thing. That is a very airy and well-made fried rice. And just the right amount of oily too. I will admit though, as a Asian, Laotian to be specific, I'm not an expert on fried rice. I sort of enjoy it. I've always thought of it as like a vessel for sriracha, but this is very good. Spicy wonton shrimpies. It's basically a giant tortellini with shrimp in it and Chinese flavoring. And I'm sorry, if you're Italian, this is exactly that's a tortellini. I can't really show it. That's a tortellini. Ooh. Boiled shrimp and pork dumpling in a spicy, sweet chili sauce. Same thing with the dumpling wrapper. It's just so perfectly made. When it's boiled, it has like obviously a different texture than when it's steamed, but I almost think I enjoy boiled dumplings more than steamed. Maybe it's just a phase. Really the star of the show is this sweet chili garlic oil that David Chang and Momofuku definitely do not have a patent over. It's a lot more sugary than what I was expecting. Yeah, and that's kind of par for the course for Taiwanese cuisine. I wouldn't quite say it's like Thai sugar, but it definitely has some notes where, I don't know, if you put this on some Thai dishes, I don't think people would hate you for it. All right, last dish, and it is a doozy. It is a special XLB Xiao Long Bao for the Western palate. Chocolate-filled Xiao Long Bao. With mochi. Does it have soup? No, I don't think so. There's no spoon. I actually quite like it because of how unfancy it is. It's super similar flavor profile to like Little Debbie's brownie or something like that, like a take-home baking kit to make cake or brownie. It is the exact same flavor profile. Like, you know, the chocolate's not fancy. Maybe it's a little bit too sugary, but I really like it. I don't know. It's got a very comforting feel to it. Would I recommend it? I am one of those believers that Asian cuisine really fucks up dessert somehow. Whew, okay, that was a tremendous amount of food, but it was also really, really good. I'm honestly super excited to try to come here later when it's not a pain in the ass and when I can be more spontaneous with it. The food is really exceptional. I know you can go to Flushing, but that's not the point. I really, really dislike the argument that you could just go to Flushing to get better, because the reality is 99% of New Yorkers are not going to go to Flushing to get better. It's the final exclamation point that Taiwanese cuisine has arrived in New York. You know, the early shots were Winson and Wenwen, and now you have the big dog. You have Din Tai Fung, DTF. Everyone's gonna be DTFing. They're trying to kick us out, get ready for the next seating. So let's actually get out of here and we'll do the reviews back in the studio. All right, we're back from Din Tai Fung. We actually ordered so many things, the server came up to us and said, "Is this all for just you?" Anytime someone questions the amount of food I can eat, it always makes me feel proud. Time to write the hype. First of all, what's hype about Din Tai Fung? The official signal that Taiwanese cuisine has landed in New York City. A restaurant where many will come to sample this type of cuisine for their first or 100th time. What's not so hype? Will Din Tai Fung be able to control its food quality and service with such an ambitious space? Modern New Yorkers are uncharacteristically courteous, but I hope Din Tai Fung doesn't take the honeymoon phase for granted. Cold vermicelli and tofu. 5 out of 5. Get these if you want a super fun and spicy start to your meal. Pairing this with a mirror, makes it an S tier classic. Green beans and garlic, 4.8 out of 5. Cooked to Goldilocks perfection. It's simple and incredible. It's simply incredible. Beef noodle soup, 3 out of 5. For me, this is the equivalent of having a burger on the menu. Everyone expects it to be there, and when you order it, you aren't mad, but you're not necessarily happy either. Xiao Mai dumplings. Carbs on carbs. I love sticky rice, and I love dumpling skin. Throwing them together is not unlike mixing two of your favorite beers. Shrimp and pork Xiao Long Bao. Well, I like little buns and I cannot lie. An elevated rendition on a classic that you should order every time. Shrimp fried rice, 5 out of 5. Every ingredient was perfectly executed and mixed together to make the most harmonious bite of the meal. I was shocked at how much I loved this simple fried rice dish. Spicy wontons and shrimp, 5 out of 5. A must order. I thought about drinking the sauce a handful of times. I opted to pack up the leftover and used it with frozen dumplings at home, and it unsurprisingly made those taste amazing. Cucumber salad, 5 out of 5. Perfectly ripe cucumbers, perfectly acidic sauce. I could eat a whole order of these myself. And that is my take on Din Tai Fung. That was a really exciting meal because it was almost like a celebration of something happening. I thought it was a really special experience. Just remember, don't trust any reviews you read or watch. Sometimes you just gotta bite the hype yourself. If you'd like to get more of my takes and discover some new spots to eat for yourself, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.